So Star Wars spin-off movies are going to come out, like clockwork for the next millennium until we're taken over by the lizard, reptile, android creatures. They announced the second anthology film. The first one will be Rogue One, which is going to be the people that stole the Death Star plans. Kyle Katarn better freaking be in that movie, or else I'm going to throw a fit. I'll throw a Zack Snyder Ian type of rant if that doesn't happen. So the second one is going to be a Boba Fett origin story. My thoughts on that. I don't like origin stories. I don't like them for Wolverine. I don't like them for anyone, because I don't like them for Darth Vader after you see what happens, because it's never as good as what your own mind can think up what an origin be. So
you liked it with Daredevil.
But we saw his origin. What do you mean? He has a comics origin. It's just
right. But I'm just saying it's still an origin story. You're talking about actually creating the.
I'm talking creating out of thin air after a character's been around for a character's been around for 30 years. All of a sudden, he has an origin.
Right.
Wolverine's around for 30 years. All of a sudden, we need to make money. Let's create this weird ass origin.
Well, and the weird thing about the Boba Fett stuff is, for as popular of a character as he is, his screen time is like fucking nothing.
I think it was like 5 minutes or less in Empire Strikes Back, and probably 7 or 8 minutes at most in Return of the Jedi. So besides his cartoon appearance on the holiday special, which actually was his first appearance.
So let's create an origin story for a guy who has 15 minutes of like original trilogy film experience and a whole bunch of fan fiction.
And like the snot-nosed Anakin Skywalker, they had to have a child Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones for God knows why. I don't think ever showing the child version of something makes you cooler. It doesn't. No. I mean, we don't want to see like the Man with No Name, Clint Eastwood. We don't want to see his child character, because you don't want that cool badass to be humanized more than it has to be. That's why we go to the movies to see that. No. We don't want to imagine that at some point you had Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name, crying as a school kid, in class somewhere in the early West in 1825.
No one wants to see our childhood characters.
No one wants to see our childhood characters. Oh. Except my cute pictures in my Christmas special. But anyway,
I'm awkward.
You see my point, though.
Yes,
is that it's never ever. Is anyone that much happier now we know the origin of Wolverine? Are we happier we saw Darth Vader as a little kid? No, I'm not. Well, it doesn't add anything to me.
The Wolverine stuff, he had an origin in the comics. The movie version does not count.
But then the whole separate freaking saga they did.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. That was more recent than not. So I'm not looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to Rogue One. I'm looking forward to the regular episode 7 through 9. I don't care about this. We saw him he's a clone kid. They made the stormtroopers all basically all the stormtroopers up to the original trilogy are Boba Fett. Once it hits the original trilogy, there's no more clones left. They have to start recruiting them. That's why they have different heights and different voices, and why you have a black one in the new movie. If you didn't realize that, I don't know where you were, but they're recruits. The Empire started having to recruit them like the regular army. So anyway, what's interesting is that Josh Trank, who's doing the Fantastic Four reboot, directed them, was originally announced to be the director of this movie.
But he's flipping nuts, apparently, and they fired his ass.
They tossed him off.
They did. So there was speculation at the big Star Wars event that they were like, "Oh, why isn't he showing up? Is he too good for it?" Word on the street is that Disney politely asked him not to show up.
Yeah, the rumors was on the Fantastic Four set that he basically not lost his marbles, but I guess couldn't keep it together, that the producers had to come in and basically direct a part of the movie and do direction even on the they basically supposedly reshot a chunk of this
for the upcoming one,
for the new one. Yeah,
I can't wait to go see it.
They had to do reshoots for whatever reason. Maybe they had to add more action in, I don't know. Sometimes they reshoot huge chunks of movies, but there was reports that Josh Trank rented a house and had his dogs with him, and ran amok and destroyed the house, and supposedly the studio was not going to pay for it. Like we're talking ruin the entire house. Like we're talking
down to its foundation.
We're talking $100,000 of damage. We're talking like literally ruined the house.
Oh Jesus!
And so this is just like, whoa. I know it's a young guy. I think he's only like 30.
Really, he looked older, but okay. Well, fair enough.
So to be that sort of young and get the opportunity to direct a Star Wars film is Jesus Christ. That's on cloud 9. So that's gone. That aside, though, it's really interesting to have a Boba Fett movie again, just because he's not a good guy. He's a bad guy. So how do you get this bounty hunter? How do you create a story of him being good without it coming off as just, I guess, artificial? You know,
you pull the wrestling angle. You got to do a tweener.
You got to do a tweener.
You
But
gotta
that's the
make him a
problem.
tweener.
But it's the problem with every movie about assassins, which is why I hate movies about assassins, because they always start bad. Then something happens where they're turned against them, or no, I can't kill this woman. All of a sudden, you know, I've killed 50 before, and now I'm good. So to do it, the Boba Fett would be cheap, I think.
Well,
You know.
I mean, the truth is, a bounty hunter has no morals. I mean,
The same way an assassin does.
Right, they fight for good or for bad. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. But they could...
You either can get hired to do something good, I guess. Hired for a good purpose.
They could do that. Or it could just end on a dark note. I mean, there are Star Wars films that end on dark notes. I mean, it wouldn't be... It's not unfathomable that he just ends up bad.
Half the Star Wars movies have ended on bad notes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, in reality, it wouldn't surprise me if they... You don't have to make him good. You don't have to make him a good protagonist. He can just be bad.
Well, that you can't sell to the kids then, and you can't sell the figures.
Well,
and the marketing.
Yes, you got to soften the edges.
This is a Disney movie, Ian.
Right?
This isn't, you can't. It's gonna be hard for them to do Empire Strikes Back for a one-off movie that has no continuation like Boba Fett.
Fair enough.
I just think it's on the surface, people are gonna go nuts for it. I think in execution, it's going to be, you got to be really careful for something like this.
Well, it's just like
especially a character that really doesn't have a personality.
That's what I'm saying. People go nuts for the character already, so they're going to go nuts for the movie, but they're going nuts for a character that... now, I'm sure someone probably is going to chastise us and say that in some book, in
a Dark Horse comic that came out in 93, but yeah, I don't care.
Or in one of the extended universe books, they gave him a shitload of backstory, but we're talking movies.
Again, and I go back to The Man with No Name because that's basically what Boba Fett is. Same sort of character. He's tweener. He does higher jobs. He'll kill you, if he wants to, blah, blah. Is that he has a personality, though. He's a charming personality. He's not hidden behind a mask the whole movie and has voices that come out of a modulator.
Right.
It's going to be, I'm not saying it's going to be impossible. It's going to be tough to pull it off a movie, I think, that's going to be, maybe not successful, but critically acclaimed.